Today, we begin our third lesson on the nominal use of the infinitive. This is the first lesson in which we think about which works better as a complement, an infinitive or a gerund.
Next, let's talk about using infinitives as complements. Honestly, I think you already get this. I don't really need to explain it anymore, right? My hobby is listening to jazz.
I feel that places where nouns normally appear, like the subject position, after prepositions, and so on, are kind of firmly fixed. So a gerund feels more stable than a to infinitive. Especially in subject position, a processing orientation tends to kick in. When we use a to infinitive there, it often ends up being interpreted as a to infinitive is interpreted as an adverbial that expresses purpose. That's why, unless we use a formal subject it to firmly anchor the to phrase, gerunds are generally preferred. Even in complement position, if it's a long-term activity or trait, a gerund usually feels more natural.
Exactly. For things like habits or flaws, things that continue over a long period, gerunds usually sound natural. One of my bad habits is biting my nails. One of my weaknesses is taking things too seriously.
That makes sense. Habits and weaknesses feel ongoing rather than temporary.
What about using an infinitive?
It is one of my bad habits to bite my nails. It is one of my weaknesses to take things too seriously. In what cases, if any, is an infinitive preferred in a complement position, without relying on a formal subject?
When there's a sense of purpose, intention, or future orientation, an infinitive sounds natural. My mission is to protect you. My goal is to become a pilot. The plan is to expand the business.
I see. They all feel directed toward the future. I'm here to protect you. That's my mission. I'm training to become a pilot. That's my goal. I'm working hard to expand the business. That's my plan.
Then how would you say this without using that clause? My weakness is that I take things at face value.
One of my shortcomings is taking things at face value.
Right. And you can also move the ing phrase into a subject position. Taking things at face value is one of my shortcomings. If you use an infinitive instead of a gerund,
it is one of my shortcomings to take things at face value.
Good. Your sense has clearly become much sharper, so let's stop here for today. By the next lesson, think about which works better as a complement, an infinitive or a gerund, when the following words come in the subject position. Job, role, duty, responsibility, function, reason. Which do you think works better as a complement, an infinitive or a gerund, when these words come in the subject position?